Greetings and salutations, horror movie fans. My name is Gilbert Ybarra, and welcome back to the Attic Review. On today's episode of Tar, I want to talk about some ambitious creatures of the night in John Carpenter's Vampires. Released in 1998, I still feel this movie about James Woods kicking the unholy crap out of vampires doesn't get enough love, so today we're going to talk about why it's so enjoyable. In traditional Attic Review style, I'm going to break the movie down into the three acts as I saw them play out, what I liked about each part if I had any complaints, and how I felt about the movie overall. So without further ado, John Carpenter presents Vampires. Meet Jack Crow. Killing vampires is his business, and business is good. Him and his band of Blessed by the Church mercenaries are here to chew some bubblegum and kick some vampire ass. And they are all out of vampire ass. Gum, I meant bubblegum. Well, after that hunt, they're out of vampire ass, but the plan was to capture a master, and he ain't here. Something seems fishy, but nothing some hookers and prostitute at a motel can't fix. Those vampire slayers work hard and party harder, son, but Jack is being a dull boy because something is off about the master not being there. It's almost as if somebody set them up. And party's over, dudes. The master shows up at the motel and shreds their asses apart like a piñata. They didn't stand a chance. Jack and his best bud Montoya barely escaped the bloodbath in a scary-ass car chase scene. And oh yeah, they got one of those party girls up from the motel that was a little freaky with the master because she got bitten by him, and now she's got a psychic connection for a little bit before she turns full bloodsucker. Old Jackie boy has Montoya hide out with Katrina, the working girl, as he goes to clean up the massacre and then reach out to the church for his next move, and we end Act 1. Now, quick favor before we move on. Please subscribe to the Attic Review. Tell some friends, it would mean so much to me to have your support. Alrighty, now, let's get to the good stuff about Act 1. I don't know who is more fierce, the Master Vampire or Jimmy Woods playing Jack, but this is a wonderful pairing of hero versus a pants-pissingly scary head honcho vampire. I love the desert setting. The Tremors-like isolation and Western-inspired musical score is a nice setup to witness both the vampires getting their asses whipped, and then the hunters getting their asses whipped way worse. Some of my favorite scenes include at the beginning of the movie when Jack had put his hand through the door of the nest house. Great creep factor. And then there's a hilarious scene where he's walking and he kicks a can on accident and breaks like silence. Try not to laugh at his expression. The slaughter at the motel gave me nightmares to this day. Dracula 2.0 scared me here real good, and that truck chase scene gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. I loved the first 35 minutes. No complaints, let's get on to Act 2. Act 2 begins with Jack learning from his employer, the church, that vampire affairs globally are not looking great, with news that vampires are being wiped out left and right, and the fact that Jack just had a run-in with a master known as Valak. Popular name. Sure, Jack survived, but Valak is the first vampire ever. Knows Jack's name personally and wants to kick his ass all over town before taking over the world. This act is a mess of things not going right for our crew. The band Katrina is now getting some horrible visions of Valak doing some fucked up shit to the church clergy so that way he can find this relic that will make him unstoppable. Sadly, Katrina wants to end it all so that way she can stop these visions, but Montoya tries to help her out, and what does he get instead? Bitten. Not good, but shh, don't tell Jack because this is Montoya's secret. But in the meantime, Jack does not trust the priest that was assigned to help them out, and he roughs him up a little bit to get the full story on Valak and what the church is hiding, and I tell you what, it's not good. And Katrina's latest vision is even worse as it showcases another savage attack on the missionary, and uh-oh, Valak's got his devil claws on that fabled black cross. The small team of hunters arrives at the crime scene that Valak left behind, and as Montoya is ready to fight Jack over his newfound love of Katrina, weird I know, the priest tells them that Valak is about to complete a ritual that will make him a daywalker like Blade, bro. So they wisely save their aggression to go hunt and kill the 7 masters and Valak as fast as they can before the sun begins to drop in a few hours and Valak becomes unstoppable. And we end Act 2. Act 2, what did I like? Valak, his backstory, his plan, his presence. Dude is a great vampire, especially around the 59-minute mark where he Ron Burgundy style assembles his crew of masters out of the ground. Fuck, that was cool. Then also his attack on the missionary. Hate to say it, but those are some of my highlights of this act. I enjoyed the constant panic and doom in the air. It felt like we were being hunted as our heroes were trying to figure out a plan to not get their asses torn apart. Yeah, they were violent and difficult to watch, but Katrina's visions of Valak's attacks were appreciated because, hey, this is a vampire movie, and what's a vampire movie without a little bit of blood? And just so you know, yes, this act has a lot of blood in it, as a heads up. Two weird things about this act, well, maybe three, but two of them are concerning Montoya. The first one is, holy shit, he slugs the hell out of Katrina. Granted, she bit him and infected him, but still, that was really hard to watch. The other weird part about that is how quickly and oddly he falls in love with her. Like, maybe that's just how vampire love works. I don't know, man. The other weird thing is Jack and his fascination with the priest sent to help. He physically and mentally abuses him and borderline sexually harasses him with all the boner jokes he throws his way. But other than those oddities, Act 2 was a lot of fun, so let's see what's in store with the conclusion in Act 3. Act 3 starts with the crew arriving in Santiago, which translates to a whale's but wait a minute, that's San Diego. My bad. But alright hunters, let's get hunting, and I'll tell you what, a few hiccups aside, things are going swimmingly for the hunters. Well, that's until the sun says bye-bye, and Valak and his crew arrive to say, what up, Jack? Here comes the shitstorm for Jack, and he ain't got an umbrella. Jack gets captured, Montoya gets a monster hickey from his new girlfriend Katrina, he looks finished, and Valak isn't the only one greeting Jack. Trusted boss Cardinal Alba sold Jackie Boy out for immortality as a vampire. Kinda can't blame him, getting old sucks. However, Jack's about to get sacrificed for the ritual when, haha, the trusted Padre and not quite vamped out Montoya show up to save the day. Valak and his plans go up in flames as the three best friends that anyone can have save mankind. Yes! But shit, Montoya's little love bites forces him to pack up the missus and say bye-bye to Jack, as Jack and the Padre agree to give him a 2-day head start on the run as they clean up the rest, and we end the movie. Act 3 was fun. Showdown in an isolated town, betrayal, mankind's survival on the line, and Montoya falling in love with a vampire. Seriously, that shit bugged me. Act 3, huge like, is the elevator scene. From the priest using himself as bait to the vampires almost outsmarting the hunters. I mean, just tense stuff, man. I love it. This act was great, almost like an action movie with some spooky elements to it, and the trio of slayers at this point have us truly rooting for them. Well, maybe not Montoya. Vampire lover. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but the part where Valak had the torch next to Jack's nuts, it shouldn't have been that funny, but it was. The only thing bothering me about this act is the fact that Montoya simped so hard over a vampire. I mean, maybe it's like that strong psychic connection that they have, but still, even after all these years, it just feels out of place. But enough about each act. How did I feel about the movie overall? Vampires is amazing, and I really love how it balances the horror with the action aspect. This feels like a shoot-'em-up western that happens to have vampires as the ops. But I like how it wasn't just mindless action and scares. Nice little backstory about Jack being raised by the church to be its head slayer and then ultimately being betrayed by those that he trusted. Looks like Jack and the vampires both got stabbed in the heart. Well, his metaphorically, but still, painful nonetheless. I talked a lot about the action, but let's not forget about the scares now. Alright, these vampires are menacing, and Carpenter brilliantly created these tense, scary moments that are very memorable. The hotel and Valak's approach, terrifying. Katrina's visions of Valak and the Masters running amok, terrifying. And using the elevators to hunt Masters before the sun drops, you bet your ass that is terrifying and satisfying. And that's it for today's episode of Tar. John Carpenter's Vampires stormed my vampire rankings upon rewatching it, and I definitely gotta say it might be top 5, if not top 3, when it comes to vamp movies, so I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It has been an absolute pleasure. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell some friends to check out the channel. My name is Gilbert Ybarra, and thank you so much for watching the Attic Review. Smile, Tiger.